Hello everyone, welcome to the TSS. In this class, we are going to discuss about the user login. Okay, in the last class, we detailedly discussed about the user registration, right? In this class, we are going to put a login link on the home page, and then we'll design one login page. That means we will design one login form asking for username and password to log in, and then its backend logic, right? So before going that, let's discuss little things about login page first. Okay, so generally login page consists of what? Username and password. That's it, no? So for that, the login page code was given here. So the form, action and method is post. So the CSRF token is mandatory, friends. While submitting the form, this token should be there. Okay, and then so username, it will ask for username and the password, and user should click the submit. After clicking submit, okay, the post method will be takes place, and then the user given username and password data should be handed over to the backend logic, right? Okay, so now what happens after clicking submit? What happens? So after clicking submit, because submit is a post request, because we had explicitly told to call the method called post, right? Okay, so we had defined backend logic like this, friends. So define the function called login, and it will receive the request from the web browser, and the request was processed like this. So let us discuss about how that request was processed. So if that requesting method is post, then what we are doing in the last class, same here also. In the last class also, in the registration, we received the data which was given by the web browser, and then we had started processing at the backend, right? So similarly here also, the user provided data, if it is the post method, so the user provided data will be stored in the individual variables here, and then what we are doing, so we are importing this one, right? Django contrib auth models import user and auth means authentication. This user we already saw in case of registration, right? So in this class we will make use of auth. Okay, see, auth means authentication. So this authentication is very much useful in case of user login, friends. Okay, so we make using of this function auth dot authenticate, right? Auth dot authenticate of the username which we taken from the web browser. Okay, so username and password. So as a parameters we are passing to this authenticate function which exists inside auth. Okay, auth class, right? So this function takes place, and we are creating an object, user object, right? And next what we are doing is we are checking that, so if that username and password is authenticated, the user will be there. Okay, so that means the user exists. Okay, so next we are checking that whether the user is not none, that means the user exists or not. Okay, so not none means whether the user exists or not. If user exists, then not none becomes true. So whether if it is become true, then what we wrote here, auth.login. If user name and password is matched and everything is successful, then login, auth.login. Here also login function, we are not sitting uh, and write all those long codes. Okay, Django That is the beauty of Django. Django has a battery included philosophy. In my first class, I told that Django is very beautiful web framework. Right, so it's a battery included philosophy, means all the needed functionalities are inbuiltly available. The developer no need to write code again and again for common functionalities like user login, authentication, user registration, all those things. Okay, so we'll make use of inbuilt functionality called the auth class. So in the auth there is one function called login, right? So as a parameters we are passing request and the user object here. Okay, right, after this what happened, the user will logged in, then we will send one alert message. So messages.info, that request we are passing as a parameter, and then login success. This is the message we are passing to the web page. To which web page we are passing? Return redirect home, to the home page. Okay, so we are redirecting the user to the home page after successful login. Okay, otherwise means if the user is not matched, here it is not matched, then we are alerting the user with login fail, and then we will redirect the user to login page because he is not login, because it was login failed. Then again the user should stay on the login page itself to give the correct credentials, right? That is the processing logic, friends. So this is when the request method is post, and if it is not the post, then it simply returns the login.html uh, page which was resting inside the templates, right? Okay, so that means get request. Okay, so if user clicks the submit button, then this part will execute. And if we simply open the web browser uh, and give the pattern like log in, then what will happen? Simply the login.html, the form will appear in front of the user. That's it. And then user will provide the data and then click submit. After clicking submit, that time that is called post request, not the get. So now this chunk of code will be executed, right? So this is the brief explanation, friends. Now I will switch over to the VS code, right? Okay, now now what is our, yes, this is our site. Now what we have to do, our server is running or not? Yes, it is running. Let us check. Yes, home, yeah, home, register. We need to place login link here. That's what we discussed right now. Login. We need to edit the source code, right? Okay, let's go inside the templates, home. Here we need to put another link called login. Okay, I will make it as login. So href, this format will be this pattern. It will, the web browser will go and search for this pattern, right? If you click, if the user comes and click on this login area, then the web browser searches for this pattern. Okay, now so it was defined. Now let us refresh. Here login link comes up. If you place this cursor, right, if you click on this one, it will take the user to login. Okay, again you see login. Okay, it is appeared. So now what we have to do, so since we didn't define any URL patterns for this login, now we have to do, okay, go to the URLs and path of log in. So this is the pattern should match, friends. Okay, now views dot login. Okay, after receiving this pattern, what should happen? It should go inside the views function, which is available inside the registration application, and execute the login function, right? So that we have to define it and login. So this name, what is the purpose of this name is, so we are redirecting the user, no? Okay, so return redirect. So at that time we are simply mentioning this name, right? So then only it will come and it will go to this particular web page, right? So this is a reverse, right? Reverse phenomena. For reverse phenomena to take place, we should use name parameter, friends. Okay, so now URL pattern is also defined. Next, I'm sorry, next we need to define login function inside the views.py file, right? Okay, so now def login of request yeah, next if request dot method is equal to post. If it is post, then what should happen? We need to grab the data provided by the user. Okay, so all these things I am not going to type. Let us type username is equal to request dot post of what. So what is the reference variable which we had given inside that? So login page we need to define, right? We need to define login page. Yeah, in the login page what we had given, so uname I had given, right? Okay, uname, username, and then password is equal to request dot post of what, pass. So these are the reference variables, right? And then we need to importing that it was already imported auth. So this class we are going to use, right? Okay, so auth dot authenticate of username is equal to username, that is the parameters, friends, and password is equal to password. So if these two, username and password, which was received from the front end web page, is okay, then the user object will create. Otherwise user object doesn't create. Then what we are, okay, so now we are defining if user is not none. Okay, then what should happen? Then auth dot login request dot user, right? Simple. And then messages dot info of request comma login success, right? Okay, let us type it. And then return redirect to where? So to home. Okay, home page, because after successful login the user should be user should see the home page, right? Okay, else part, else what, else messages dot info request comma login fail. Then user should stay in the login page only, because he should provide the correct credentials. Okay, login, right? So that is for all this process is defined for post after clicking submit button. Okay, now if the user opens the web browser and simply type after the website say login, then what should happen? So that is a get request. If it is get request, then simply return render of request comma the template name login.html. Okay, this login.html, we didn't create this template inside the templates folder. Now we are going to define, right? So now templates, create a file, name the file as login.html. okay, so for this the code, I am going to copy that code from which I had already tested earlier. Home.html login, right? So because if I type all these things, the video length will be longer, friends. Yeah, now I am going to explain this code. So it's a head text, it's a title. Okay, this is the login page heading. Now this is the form tags which I had explained earlier in my notes. CRFS tokens. So this is the username and password asking for the user to provide, and then submit. After clicking submit, what should happen? It will go to the views function, right? This views function login, and then all the processing which we had defined here, it will execute, right? So let us see, let us save all files. Now let us check from first home. Here this is our home page. So this registration we had already saw in our last class. In this class we are seeing login part, right? So registration is already completed. In our last class we had registered some 3 users, namely Siva, Sriram and Viraragva, right? So now we will log in with that credentials. So if I click this one, now the pattern is appeared. So since this pattern is defined inside the urls.py file, so that urls.py file, it is get request, right? This is the urls. So login pattern is there, then Django will execute the login function inside the views file, right? So go to the views. Now it will receive the request and it will check for the post. It is not the post, it is simply get. Then the else part, this line of code was executed. Request, simply it search for login.html page inside the templates folder, and it comes here. We'll check the login.html. Yeah, the code was available. This code was served to the web browser. So as a result, this form appeared like this. Now what? Now after presenting this login page to the user should give his credentials which he already registered, right? So now I am giving username as Shiva. Shiva is already available in our database, right? Here let me refresh it. Yeah, so this is, you know it now. In last class I already show authenticate user. This database contains the users and their passwords. Here you can see username. These are all the credentials. Username Shiva, Sriram, Veera. First name, email, right? And their last name. Their passwords is, it will not be visible because it was encrypted. Now we are giving the username Shiva, password 123, right? So if I click submit, then what will happen? So these details will be posted. The request is post. Okay, these details are posted to the server side script which was defined in the use function login. Yeah, so all these username and password was received from the front end web browser, and the authentication takes place, and we are checking whether it is successful or not. If it is successful, user object was created. So if user object is created, then login, we will allow that user to log in, and we will provide one alert message to the home page. So if user is not created, that means it was not successful, authentication is not successful. We had alerted the user with a login fail message, and stay that user to redirected to the login page again. Okay, so let us see what will happen. Submit. Yes, login success, because Shiva and 123 is the password which was already registered. Now we had a login with that credential. Now let us try again, going back to login. uh, let us Shiva. This time I will not give 123 password, I will give some other, say some random password. Okay, now what will happen? Username is okay, but password is not okay. So now what should we expect? So the user should stay on this page only, and the alert message, what login fail, right? Login fail, alert message should display on the login page itself. Okay, submit. Here you see login failed, and the user stays in the login page only, right? Because he needs to provide correct login credentials, right? And how this login fail came now? So go to login.html. We had defined one Jinja code here, so that messages was sent back to the web browser along with the request, along with the response, right? So in these messages we had uh, extracted the error. Okay, so we used for loop, and then we'll printed that passed message, right? So we have injected that passed message here. Wherever you want, you can place this code, right? So that is the idea. Okay friends, so this is login page, and let us try with Sriram, and the password is 123. Submit. Yeah, login success, right? And then let us say Veera, password 123. Submit. Login success. Let us say some hello, and we don't have this username registered. Password as 123. Login failed, right? Okay, so let us Siva 123. Submit. So after login success. Okay, now one thing we need to just develop this UI, some more user friendly UI you can make, because login success means which user. So if the username comes up here, it would be appealing, right? So we can greet the user, say welcome here, welcome Shiva, like that. Okay, so that thing also we can do. So that is simple friends. Okay, so in the home page, yeah, here it is the home page. Now here we can define user dot first name. Okay, user dot first name. We can make this. We can wrap it around some h2 tags slash h2 welcome, no, hello. This is the username which whatever user logs in, his or her name will be displayed, right? Welcome to the website, right? Simple message, right? Now we will see. So login. This time I'm 1 2 3 submit. Yeah, that's success. Hello Vera, welcome to the website. Now the user also has confirmed that, so my name is appearing, so it is registered and I am logged in, like that. Okay, so this is the login system, friends. Okay, and in the next class we will discuss about logout. Okay, discuss about a logout, how logout will function. Okay, how user can logged out, right? Okay friends, till then, bye bye. Yours Vida signing off. Thank you for listening.